And thank you very much to all that's here right now. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, it is a pleasure of mine to be here to witness this particular, to be a part of it, to be a part of the signing of the SIM card registration regulation, MOU. This is a very significant milestone simply because it's been a long road. And for those stakeholders that have been part of this process, you all know it's been a long road, but never late. It's better now than never, right? The significance of this particular event is one that will be impacted, that you all will feel the impact. We all know that there's a lot of crimes that's committed using the telephones, our cell phones. You may not be aware. One of the first places the police sector will go to when investigating a crime is the cell phone. What was the last set of numbers you called? And who's associated with those numbers? And if your SIM card or the SIM card that they are investigating is not registered properly, you may never know who committed certain crimes, right? So this is a significant milestone for the country. We want to take this time to thank the stakeholders, which are the service providers. You have your Lone Star Cell MTN group. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
We want to also take this time to thank Orange Liberia. Thank you very much. We've gone through this together. We also want to thank the National ID Registry. Has been a very strong driver and the entity that will actually take the ball from this point. Actually, it will be the service providers, where LTA has done majority of the work up to this point by drafting and doing the public consultation for the regulation. Now some of our work is relaxed, and majority of the work now is being passed on, the baton is being passed on to NRR and the service providers. I'm very optimistic from this point forward that things will be very smooth. We have a perfect working relationship. As long as we follow the regulations and follow the rules of what is being given to us, everything will be very, very smooth from this point. At some point, you will be guided with more information, the deadlines, the dates that we all have to adhere to. But for now, I want to keep it short. I want to thank everyone for taking your time out to be here. And I definitely, especially like I said before, want to thank our stakeholders. Thank you very much.
So, Madam Chair, if you don't mind the way we had it arranged, if that is the process we also follow, then we do the signing, and then after that, we'll get the match from the three other stakeholders.
Sounds perfect.
So we have each one of us has in front of them a set of a copy of the MOU. So if you can sign your set, then you can pass it on to the others. I think that's how Mr. Betty wants it to happen, right, Mr. Betty?
Yes. So that the person has a copy.
Yes. So as you sign it, you pass it on, and then the other will sign it. You got a pen there?
No, you need to.
Evina Zakal, Acting Chairperson, Liberia Telecommunications Authority, Mr. Ali M. Fakir, Deputy Chief Executive Officer and Head of Corporate Affairs, Lone Star Cell MTN, Mr. Biakalia Betu, he's the Acting Chief Executive Officer of Orange Liberia, distinguished guests from the LTA, Lone Star Cell MTN, and Orange Liberia, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is for us a great honor to host you at the National Identification Registry and an immense pleasure to be part of the official launching of Liberia's new SIM RURM registration system. Today's event is a climax of nearly 2 years of intense negotiations between the 4 key stakeholders, LTA, NIR, Lone Star Cell, MTN, and Orange Liberia, to allow for the use of our modern, robust national identification system in the registration of telecommunications customers. We have had no doubt from the inception that this change was imminent and will bring enormous benefits to the telecommunications sector. However, this is a complex process that required the understanding and the support of several stakeholders. Therefore, it had to take a while. They say all is well that ends well. So we are glad to see these negotiations come to an end with the signing of this memorandum of understanding today. The end of these negotiations is great news, but this end in and of itself is the beginning of a difficult journey, which is the implementation of the revised SIM RURM card regulation. Under this arrangement, we expect the National Identification Registry to enroll about 1 million citizens and residents in over 3,000 locations across Liberia over the next 1 year. This target is 10 times what we have been able to accomplish in any given year. And so we face a challenge which, when I think of, takes a bit of my excitement away. But we are prepared to face this task and make sure we are more than equal to it, because we take our courage from the enormous benefits that will accrue at the end of the day. A successful migration to an authentic identification system for telecommunications customers is good for Liberia. It is also good for the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. It is good for mobile network operators, good for the National Identification Registry, and good for the customers themselves. For our country and government, this will mean that we are significantly reducing many risks associated with the telecommunication services and their use. If COVID-19 has taught us any lesson, it must be the realization that today we live in a global village of interconnectedness and interdependence, where none of us is truly secure until all of us are secure. For the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, this will mean efficiency and transparency in regulating the sector, as well as potential revenue increase from deeper penetration of mobile services, as the identification challenge for many people is addressed. For the mobile network operators, authentic identification of customers means they do not have to worry much about potential fines from violation of the regulations. It also means significant reduction in costs of identity-related frauds, and they know about that, as well as increase in business resulting from the ease of identification. For the customers themselves, it means that many will find it much easier to access the services because identification will not be much of a problem. Customers will also experience greater protection of their accounts. Finally, for the National Identification Registry, this means increase in enrollment an increase in the value of the identity to Liberia, of the NIR to Liberia. But we have a long way to go before we can get to these benefits. And so we are happy to get started today. Along the way, we will be counting on all of you and others who are not in this room at this table to help us to succeed with such a great and significant project. Let me again thank you, Madam Chair, and dear colleagues, for your partnership thus far. Be assured of our commitment to successfully implement this project, and please give us a chance to serve you. May God bless Liberia. Thank you. So we'll now have remarks from the MNOs. It's listed in such a way that I think Lone Star is alphabetical, so we'll have the first remarks from Lone Star, Sir MTN. This will come from Mr. Ali and Fakir.
What can you do with a SIM card? I mean, over the years, this SIM card have evolved, as you can see, and now it's this big. You know, with this, you can make calls, you can surf the internet, you can send and receive money. You can even save money now. This tiny SIM linked to our cell phone numbers mean we literally have our lives in our hands. In today's fast-paced mobile and digital economy, we must protect our SIM card. Linking our national ID cards to our SIM card means that, like our thumbprint, our telephone numbers are by extension, the SIM card is unique to each one of us. We must take care of them and we must safeguard them. Alongside MTN, we believe that this pilot initiative linking our national ID card to the SIM card will serve to protect our customers' livelihood and provide an essential layer of security to protect our peace of mind. Because your life is in your hands, we are here for you. We thank the LTA, we thank the National ID Registry for this initiative, and we look forward to a brighter future. We are good together.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. On behalf of Foreign Liberia, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the LTA, the National Identification Registry, and MNOs for this strategic approach in putting into place a SIM card registration process through the national ID system for compliance purposes. We anticipate that this pilot stage will be a success where we can onward engage in the full implementation of the total process. It is always the wish and a real honor of Orange Liberia to work with the government as a partner in the forward march of Liberia. Again, thank you.
Use the existing protocol. Those sitting or acting or playing the role of a chairman is not as easy as that. However, I think it as a challenge. Madam Chair, we first of all want to express our thanks and appreciation to you and the entire LTA family for the long patience, the long cooperation. We started this journey way back, and we are happy at least we have started. Like Mr. Dambe says, it's a challenge to each and every one of us. If other countries can do it, we in Liberia, we can do it. SIM card, like he said, in Liberia, people may take it for a joke, but it's not as simple as it looks. SIM card can take you a long way. We want to thank Lone Star, we want to thank Orange, I want to assure you that we are the NIR. You have our fullest support. All we ask of you is a low patience. A low patience in the sense that we in Liberia will play that laid back stuff and everybody wait for last minute to time. What we are about to do, yes, the numbers are different, but the exercise is not strange. Meaning, we did it for the government employees. The government employees, similar to this, said if you don't have your national ID, you won't take pay. And we distributed our people all around the country. It's similar to this. The only difference may be the number. But rest assured that we'll be present all over. We just ask a low patient. Again, we want to express our thanks and appreciation for all of those that have been with us, especially the LTA family. At one point, we went down, we got up, we went down. But I want to say you started with this, and I'm happy that we end with this. Again, we say thank you for coming, and we hope that the way we started, we'll all end with a smile. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So maybe we'll kind of modify the protocol a little bit because you're not supposed to talk after the vote of thanks, but it's an extension of the vote of thanks. And there are a lot of people who have worked so hard to make this, to get us to this point today. Like I said, this has gone on for nearly 2 years. You know, so we started with the acting chairperson at the time, Madam. I think when we started, I believe she was acting at the time, and then we went to the chairperson, Chairman Brown, and then Madam Zakpa took over, and she also has been involved on a technical level. We had a lot of technicians from the LTA. Mr. Betty, I think he never gets tired. If you work with me on any initiative, you know that I can stick. When I stick on something, it's hard to get me off. And very, unfortunately, I forget holidays and weekends and all those things. I don't know that sometimes he's out of town, and he said, Director, this is vacation time. I'm on vacation. I think one time we almost took him from vacation, So he worked extremely hard, very patient-minded, very thorough, professional person. We are really grateful for the hard work. We have had Josephine from Orange. We have had Mr. Supu from Orange. We have had Mr. Totman, even Mr. Yao have been here with us. We have fallen down and gotten up, and finally we are here. And the good thing is that this is just the beginning of the actual hard work. So I hope all our relationship will prepare us to move forward. Thank you very much. We are very grateful for what you have done. So that is it. I don't know if the press thinks that there is something that we want to clarify and ask the chairperson why she's here. Then let's take, Madam, we can take 2 or 3 questions.
I would think so.
Okay. Since we are already here, let's direct all the questions to Madam Chairman.
Yes, Madam.
She will coordinate.
I'd like to know as to what are the SIM cards, are available and where can we find them?
Okay, the great thing is you're not changing your SIM cards at all. You're simply going to be re-registering your SIM card using your national ID, right? So if you don't, so that's the only difference. If you don't have a national ID card, please get one as quickly as possible. If you have a national ID card, you want to go to your telephone operator and use that card to register, re-register your SIM card. Simple.
Okay. Thank you, George Harris from Daily Observer. I would like to know the duration of this pilot project.
The pilot project, maybe I'll ask Mr. Bettis. Bettis, please speak.
Thank you, Chair. The duration of the pilot project is 3 months. It begins November 1st and ends January 31st. That's for the pilot.
February.
And February will evaluate what happened during the pilot, and then full implementation will begin March 1st, 2021.
So what will be the milestone for this pilot project? What exactly are you people going to look at in this project?
I think it already been said. Other people is about registering your SIM card. That's what we're doing.
So now during this pilot, what is expected is that everybody that has a registration card, national ID card, please reach out to your service providers. During the full implementation phase that will start March 1st, right? The full implementation that starts March 1st, there will be some kind of rollout plan, which we'll disclose that at a later time, okay? But there will be a rollout plan. And if you do not register when you are supposed to register, when that deadline passed, in order to encourage you to register, they may suspend your line. We don't want that. You don't want that. So let's go ahead and during the pilot phase, get it over with and you're done. So if you procrastinate and you wait until full implementation and your deadline comes and passes, then your service may be suspended temporarily until you comply.
Yeah, I'm Henry Campbell from Foundation. So I would like, my question will be directed to the NIR. I want you to briefly, in a nutshell, explain the procedure, the process leading to this whole thing about national ID and then with your SIM card. I mean, people out there want to understand why it really leads to, what's the benefit to them, the service provider, and maybe the government. Just in a nutshell.
So in my remarks, I went over this. Probably you can look at them when you are putting your story together. It is a very important thing in the world today for governments and people that manage telecommunication services to know who is behind the SIM card, who owns it, who is that person. Okay, if you don't do that, the telecommunications is a very valuable technology today. These are things that we didn't have maybe 100 years or more ago. But in the same way that it can be used for a lot of good, it can be used for a lot of evil. And therefore, it's important for you to manage it in a responsible way so you can take the good out of it and then step on the evil. So telecommunications can be associated with a lot of things that are not good for society. Like Madame said, when they are fraud. I mean, he talked about how the SIM card is some people's bank. And so some people some criminals that used to want to go and rob the bank, we just want to rob the SIM card. It's faster for them. Okay? They can gain access to it and suck your money out of it. And then we are looking for who took the money. So it's very important in the modern society to know who owns the SIM card. And in Liberia, that has been a problem before. So with this program, we are going to solve that to make sure that over the next 1 year, by December 31st next year, everyone in Liberia who has a SIM card is someone that has a national ID card.
So just to follow up, is it different from what the service provider are doing? Because before you put your SIM card, it has to be through.
So with this now, before you get SIM card, the ID card you carry to get SIM card will be your national identification card. There will be no other ID card but your national identification card. Okay? And with that national identification card, they will gain access to our system here. There's a whole technology setup, and they will be very sure that it is you. So in the future, you will carry your student ID card to get to register for a SIM card. You will not be able to carry your working ID card to get your SIM card. The ID that you will carry to apply for the SIM card or to re-register the SIM card is the national identification card. And behind the national identification card, there is a whole complex and very strong system that is built to make sure that the person who's giving the identification company is a Liberian or a resident in Liberia, that we know they exist. Okay? Yes.
Yes. Finally, from my end, my question goes to Paki and that of Betty. Now, some of us were not fortunate, you know, to register our own SIM cards, you know, due to one problem or the other. So the SIM card was registered in another person's name due to unforeseen circumstances. So if I go now with my citizen ID card, I mean, to register my ID in my name, will I be considered?
I mean, there's a few things that you need to take into consideration. This is for your own protection as well. I mean, as we were mentioning, these SIM cards, your life is in it right now. Whether you're making calls, whether you're using it to surf the internet, whether you're using mobile money to send and receive money, and at the same time, you have money in that account. For you to enhance the security of that, you would still need to do the registration under your own name. And this is a transition period right now. I mean, maybe it looks difficult, but trust me, once we are on the ground and this starts, the process becomes a little bit easier. Specifically, if you have your line registered under somebody else's name, I would recommend you go to the service center with that person. That would take a few minutes of your time, and then change it back to your name.
Unfortunately, in my own case, that person is no longer in the country, and I've been using the SIM card for the past 12 years now.
Okay, I mean, these are, I think this has to do more with the regulation part of things, and I'm sure there's always a way forward to these. There might be maybe some verification process that maybe can work along the LTA on, and of course the NIA, and this verification process would allow us to change it to your name if that paper, for instance, is signed. So there's always a way forward, you know. We always have to think positive and think that there's a solution all the time. All right?
Okay, Madam Chair. So that is it. Thank you very much.
It's actually an important question.
Yeah,
It's a very important question.
So we are done.